Wilkesboro, Rhonda, Boomer, and Mulberry. This is a tornado warning that is it's indicated via radar, not confirmed on the ground, but it doesn't have to be confirmed on the ground to actually be there. So people in the Wilkesboro area near Mulberry and Moravian Falls, you could be watching this. Actually, not even just watching this closely, but you need to be in your safe place now. Head into a basement or an interior room with no windows. This storm is very strong, and this is actually the same storm that our panelist Scotty Powell had to go to his basement for just 20 minutes ago, as it was heading over Morganton. Produced a possible tornado. We'll see. There's a few damage reports in a few other cities near Morganton. So if we look at this, the velocity data here, looks like we're sampling 100-mile-an-hour winds, probably about 4,000 feet off the ground there. So that circulation will be descending down closer to the ground, and winds will not be likely may not be that strong at the ground level, but it doesn't have to be that strong again to have a tornado on the ground. So if we look at the reflectivity data, I'll flip us over to this. No hook echo here, but there is certainly strong rain and precip. Let's see how quick this thing is moving. So this cell is moving north-northeast at 45 knots. And according to the National Weather Service, so that's 55 miles an hour, located near Elkville currently. So this is a very dangerous tornado, tornado warning, possible tornado with it, moving northeast through Wilkesboro, North Wilkesboro, Fair Plains, Mulberry, Hayes, Rhonda. People in that path of the storm need to take cover. If you're in the path and not yet in the tornado warning polygon, you need to be prepared and be watching this and maybe getting ready to possibly enter your safe place over the next 20 minutes or so. Now, if we zoom the radar out and look around a little bit, we've got a few other storms, a few scattered showers and thunderstorms over near Asheville and Fletcher and Hendersonville through Rutherford County, where the possible tornado passed through earlier. We do this is currently the only tornado warning in the Carolinas at the moment, and the only severe warning for that matter. There are a few storms down near Columbia that we're starting to monitor. Environment for it to grow into a supercell. And actually, the one to its south has some rotation as well. So both of these need to be monitored closely. And again, that is just northeast of Columbia, South Carolina. If we head back to the tornado warning up near Wilkesboro, I just got a notification saying the tornado warning has been canceled for Alexander and Caldwell. I believe that is the southern warning here, which would make sense because it appears that rotation has moved out, and there it goes, just dropped off the radar. It has moved out of Caldwell and out of Alexander counties and is now more into Wilkes County. Currently that rotation is almost over Moravian Falls. Let's see if we can get a better look at that on the radar because it's starting to get pretty far away. Switch over to Roanoke. Let's see. We've got, oh, wow, yeah. So Roanoke radar shows some pretty high velocity returns. Obviously, this is very far away from their radar, but it might be a little bit better than what GSP has down in Greenville with their radar coverage. So up above the ground, we've got 112 mile an hour winds, clocking and that is heading away from the radar. So the way these velocity radars work is that the bluish and greenish colors typically heading away indicates wind and storm motion heading away from the radar. Heading towards the radar. And the reds and browns typically indicate storm motion heading away from the radar. So you see that it's continuing to track close to Moravian Falls, Wilkesboro. I believe there was just a tornado watch issued. I'll pull it up here in a minute, but there was a tornado. Oh, it was just canceled. I'm sorry. So tornado watch was just canceled for Elbert and Hart counties, Georgia, Abbeville, Anderson, Cherokee, Chester, Greenville, Greenwood, Lawrence, Spartanburg, Union, and York County, South Carolina. And a severe thunderstorm watch was issued for Henderson and Transylvania. So that are these counties down here. So that is obviously in anticipation of the second round of severe thunderstorms moving through the area as we head closer to 5, 6, 7 p.m. If we would look at those now, they're currently over eastern Tennessee. And they're rather scattered in nature, much more discrete than the line that we had moving through earlier, but definitely equally as strong. I don't see any major rotation in these right now, but we'll watch those over the coming hours. Let's switch back over to Roanoke radar and check out this storm that we have in Wilkes County. If we can get that to load. So still looking roughly the same on reflectivity, but if we switch over to super res velocity, still indicating moderate to strong rotation, currently right over Moravian Falls, North Carolina. It'll be into Wilkesboro and North Wilkesboro over the next 5 minutes. This is a very dangerous storm moving through a rather populated area. So if there's a tornado on the ground, we'll be seeing damage pictures and reports soon. If not, the storm is still perfectly capable of producing severe thunderstorm winds, capable likely up to 60 to 70 miles an hour. And I'm sure there is small hail indicated in this tornado warning. Let's read through this. So let's see. We've got tornado is radar indicated, and hail generally smaller than 3/4 of an inch, so smaller than quarters. So the hail threat is maybe not necessarily the biggest deal with this storm. Obviously, the tornado is. So for locations in Moravian Falls, Wilkesboro, Hayes, Rhonda, this storm will be into. Let's see if we can track it out through time. So if it's currently 4:37, it'll be through Wilkesboro over the next 5 minutes. So those areas, you need to be in your safe place now. You don't have no more time to wait. You need to be moving now. For areas such as Fair Plains, Hayes, maybe even Rhonda, over the next minute or two, you need to be getting into your safe place because this storm will be on you in just a matter of minutes. This is, as I was saying earlier, a regeneration of the storm that we saw earlier in Burke County. It kind of originated down here in Rutherford County and tracked through Rutherford 10, up north through Morganton, just southwest of Morganton, through Salem, which I believe is where our panelist Scotty Powell is heading currently. So go see if he can record some damage and get some reports into the National Weather Service office. That is why he is offline. But this storm it has weakened, and it had weakened, and the tornado warning had fallen off it as it passed Morganton. But it has since re-strengthened. And obviously, it had its first warning reissued in Alexander and Caldwell counties, I believe. So it has moved out of that area and into the Wilkes County district. So people there need to be keeping a close eye on that. I'll zoom out a little bit and look at what we have over the rest of the state. Earlier, we were monitoring some storms near Durham. It looks like that storm has since moved away. There are a few storms to the east of Durham and northeast of Raleigh. You can flip over, and doesn't appear to be much of a threat with them. Just general moderate rain, maybe some claps of thunder in there. So still a thunder and lightning risk, but I don't see any tornado or damaging wind risk with that. Now this cell, that's starting to look like it means business just northeast of Columbia. Flip over to super res velocity. Not really much rotation on either of those cells. But if you look at the reflectivity, there's a nice hook, especially on that northern cell right in here. That's typically what we see with storms that like to rotate and produce tornadoes, especially the storms that are more of this discrete nature. So we need to be watching those over the next few minutes. Those are heading towards, let's see, Kershaw, Lugoff, Camden, and we'll head back to the storm that is in Wilkes County. I'll switch over to Roanoke radar. So if it looks like our tornado warning just got adjusted. If I use this tool, handy dandy tool right here, and zoom out here a little bit, we'll see how high up that radar is measuring the beam. So the radar is measuring that rotation roughly 7,000 feet off the ground, 80 meters away from the radar location. So we're not getting the best data here, and we wouldn't be getting anything much better from Greenville. But we'll zoom in here and take you back in to look at the velocity. data. So let's look at that. Click on it. See if we can get it to load. So yeah, rotation still looks strong, and it is right over downtown Wilkesboro right now, headed to North Wilkesboro over the next 60 seconds to a few minutes. The storm is moving at, I believe it was moving at 55 miles an hour earlier. See if this warning has been updated. As of 2 minutes ago, hazard tornado radar indicated rotation. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Wilkesboro, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. Impacts include flying debris, which would be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes are obviously very much so at risk and will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, vehicles, and windows are possible, and tree damage is likely.